Hi and welcome to Sailing Britican.
Today we're going to talk to you about the steps involved in becoming a blue water cruiser. And if you stay tuned, I've got sweat dripping down my lip. And if you stay tuned, at the end of the video we'll provide you with an opportunity to get 160 steps and tips to becoming a blue water cruiser. So before we go anywhere with this, what is a blue water cruiser?
A blue water cruiser is someone that goes further afield than their home port and is generally in nice, beautiful Caribbean, South Pacific, Mediterranean waters.
Yeah, blue water denotes, you know, big seas and oceans.
Yeah.
So a blue water cruiser is generally somebody that lives on a boat. So they go away for quite long periods of time, months, even years. So what are the steps involved in becoming a blue water cruiser?
So the first thing you should do is learn how to do boating and learn how to sail.
Yeah, and you can do that through books and blogs and watch videos and so forth, but you also need to get out on a boat and make sure you understand how to put sails up, take sails down, what reefing means, and just get to know the terminology of a boat and get your head around how a boat works and how it sails and different points of sail, that kind of thing. Super important to do that.
Yeah, okay, so I believe that the easiest part of sailing is actually sailing itself. The harder part is coming out and into a marina, especially when you've got the wind and tides against you. Also safe anchoring and getting on and off a mooring ball. Yeah,
we find that the majority of new cruisers, that's the weak spot. That's where a lot of new cruisers come out and they haven't practiced that at all. I tell you, you know, hitting another boat or hitting a dock or anchoring too close to a boat, all these things can really knock your confidence. So it's really important that those three things are experienced and practiced over and over again, because that will give you the confidence to get out there and just keep going.
Another thing that is important is getting qualifications, because you can then go and hire a bareboat boat before you go out and buy your own boat. It helps you get yourself out there, because you go to a place that rents boats out and they'll go, what qualifications have you got? And if you haven't got any, they're not going to let you have a boat.
And it's just like the foundation, you know, there's RYA and ASA courses, and there's a foundation there. They'll teach you the terminology, they'll teach you how the boat works, but you also get that practical experience of trying things. It's not going to make you a sailor, but it's that first level to get you going, and they're super important. And there's also qualifications you can get that aren't necessary. One thing we recommend is get a first aid at sea qualification, so learn about how to perform first aid when you're on a boat, because it's definitely not the same as being on land.
No.
On land, somebody comes within 5 minutes. On a boat, you might have to wait hours, if not days.
Yep.
So that's a really important thing to look into. And there's other things too, like when we started off.
Yeah, we did an engine course and ancillary courses. Ancillaries is like your water maker, your air conditioning, and everything else that works on a boat.
And like Simon said earlier, the sailing bit is actually the easy bit.
Yeah.
It's taking care of all the systems and becoming a plumber and a mechanic, and you can say, yeah, I'll have people service my boat, but one, that's extremely expensive, and two, if you're in the middle of an ocean, there's nobody there to service it.
Also, a really big important is to get to know your systems on your boat that you have and servicing, and that's preventative. And
just having like lots of checklists, you know, every single system on a boat has a service requirement. So every
200 hours.
Every 200 hours the generator needs a service. Every
300 hours on the engine, that's when we do that as well. So.
Yeah, and like the heads, they have a servicing kit. All the pumps have servicing kits. So if you have checklists and you know when you're doing things and you read the manuals for every system you have on your boat, you can put together a system in place so that you are, like Simon says, preventing problems. Yeah. Until we moved on the boat and until things started breaking, we had no idea we were supposed to be maintaining quite a few things.
We were very naive.
Yes. So if you can get your head around that and like look at all the systems on the boat that you're gonna buy or the boat you're interested in, it will put you miles ahead of most cruisers.
The next step up, you got used to boating and sailing, and is get the right boat for you. And that's different, you know, we felt this is the right boat for us, but it doesn't mean it's the right boat for you. You might want a monohull, or you might want a catamaran, and there's pros and cons of both. And also you want to see how big do you want your boat. Some people we know, they got a 66-foot boat for a couple, and it was just beyond them, way beyond them. They needed at least one or maybe potentially two crew, and they never left the dock. They went out once, they came back in, and they stayed on it for about another 2 months and then sold it.
And the important thing when picking a boat is figuring out where you're going to go with it. It's a natural tendency for all cruisers to think they're going to get a boat and sail around the world immediately. Most people, think, oh, we'll get out, we'll cross the Atlantic or across the Pacific. The reality is you get the boat and then you realize all the things you didn't realize. And you think, well, we need to slow this down, we need to learn more. What you want to do is think about, where do you want to go? If you want to just go to the Bahamas, you just don't want a deep draft boat. It's shallow. So a catamaran's good there, or a lifting keel is good there. If you want to do the ICW, again, there's restrictions. There's the height of the bridges is 65 feet in America.
Yeah.
So any mast over 65 feet and you can't go through certain areas of the ICW. If you want to go to the Mediterranean, I mean, the anchorages are super deep in some places. So you need to look at, how much chain can you carry and what kind of anchor will you have. So there's all these different things depending on what your plans are and where you're actually going to go.
All boats are different, and there isn't the right boat out there for you, and you've got to find out what you want it for.
And once you know what you want to do with the boat and like how many people are going with you, or whether you want friends and family to visit and that kind of thing, then you can hone down on the specific variables on a boat. So there's hundreds of variables. There's center cockpit versus aft cockpit. There is heavy displacement boat versus light displacement boat. There are totally different rigging configurations where some boats have just two sails, some have more. Until you know what you want to use the boat for and where you're going to go, you can't answer those questions. It's real important to figure out first your big picture and then kind of narrow down and look at every piece and part of the boat and say, well, that will work for us and that will not work for us. Yeah. And just to add a little bit more, some boats are more prone to make people seasick. Some boats are more safe for children. Some boats are more level in an anchorage, whereas others are going to sway a lot. Some are better at sailing, a good sailing motion, and others are really wallowy depending on the configuration. So these are all really important things to talk to if you're a couple and you're going to do it, to talk to each other. Say, well, how about this? What do you think of that? And the only way to figure this stuff out is to research and talk to other cruisers, read blog. Of course, get out and experience it yourself. Get the qualifications, go out, rent a boat for a week and try it out yourself to see what you like and what you don't like.
Then when you've got an idea on the boat that you want, then there's the buying process. What you want to do is start just looking at boats. Get on different types of boats that I want a catamaran and I want it around 40 feet. Go on all the different ones. You think you might want a lagoon, but then you go on a Fontaine Peugeot and you think, wow, I like that one better than the lagoon, or vice versa. So you start to go out there and start looking around and going on some boats, and then what you want to do then is try and find a broker that's going to work for you, because the broker that is selling a boat is working for the seller, is not going to be working for you.
We see it time and time again that people are buying boats sight unseen. So they're buying them from America, they're buying boats in Trinidad. There seems to be quite a few people around here that have done that. You need to see the boat, you need to survey it yourself, and then provided you're happy then, you need to have a professional surveyor check it out and take it and put it in the water and make sure it sails. Make sure you're happy with the rig. It's not like you're buying a house or a car where there's, a bit of protection, consumer protection. Buying a boat, you have no idea what you're getting, and there's a lot of them out there that they're gonna sink. They're very unsafe. If you can take anything away, go see the boat you want to buy, look at it yourself, and get a professional surveyor who has nothing to do with the broker or the company or the person selling the boat.
Yeah. Once you've got your boat and you purchased it, then you want to start getting on the boat, finding out what it needs to be done. Now, the problem I've had is a lot of people have spent 6 to 8 months getting the boat as they want it and putting stuff on that they don't really need and spending thousands and thousands of dollars. And then I've gone out on their first sail and their wife, their partner, says, no, this is not for me. There was one person I was talking to and I was telling them, stop doing boat jobs and just go out round the corner and anchor for the weekend. It's going to be a beautiful weekend. Just go out and anchor and just see if you like it. And then they did a 100-mile passage. Well, they went from Florida to Bimini. That is really quite a difficult passage. Something went wrong with, it was a catamaran, and something went wrong with one of the rudders, and it just freaked them both out. They hadn't been out on the boat. It had been in the marina for the whole time. The only time they'd moved it is to go and get it pumped out, the black water tanks pumped out.
If they had gone out, they would have found the problem with the rudder before a long passage. As soon as you get the boat, provided that, you know, the engine's working and you can get it out, every opportunity, go out and just anchor for an hour. Or find a mooring ball and practice tying on. Or try a little bit, like, you know, anchor overnight. And slowly build up your confidence, and also find out what's broken on the boat, because there's going to be stuff that doesn't work. And that's whether it's new or old.
Yeah, when we got our first boat, our Moody, I bought it in October, November time, and so through December, January, February, even in the UK, we were freezing, but we still went out and it was empty. We got used to the boat, we found out what it was good at, what it wasn't good at. We were then going in and out of marinas that were empty.
Yeah, and when we hit something, nobody was watching us.
The dock, that is, not boat. We didn't hit other boats.
Yeah.
We got used to the boat and we felt more confident of the boat, and then when the spring and the summertime came along and there was hundreds of boats around us, we were still scared,
yeah,
but we were confident that we knew how to handle a boat. If we got into a little bit of difficulty, we knew what we could do to get out of it, and that is a massive thing. It gave me confidence, and it also gave Kim confidence in me that I can handle the boat, because I was on the steering and the sailing and Kim was doing the lines and the anchoring.
So we have a club, a membership, where we help mentor new cruisers or pre-cruisers, and the biggest issue we're finding is that we keep saying get out and practice, practice, practice. You can watch YouTube videos all you want. That's not giving you experience. You need to get out on a boat, whether it's your boat or somebody else's boat, whether it's a dinghy, whether it's a tall ship. You got to get out and, you know,
yeah,
put some hours under your belt. There's nothing that can change that.
There's always lots of people looking for crew to help move a boat, to go do a bit of racing. Dune Racing is fantastic because you see how people work, and it's a bit stressful, and you just tell people that, sorry, I don't race, I don't sail, but you know, you might just be a bit of rail meat that's hanging over the side, like almost like we're doing now, but you get to see things, and just go out on as many boats and listen to different captains and go, yeah, I like the way that captain did it, but I didn't like the way that captain did it, but I like something that he did better than the other one. And then you pick them and then you work it on your boat.
Yeah.
Even when I go on other people's boats now, I'm looking to see what are they doing different to me, why are they doing it that way, and I'm still picking up
we
tips.
always will be.
I know, I picked up a tip the other week and I thought, wow, brilliant.
Yeah, why haven't I been doing that?
Yeah, why haven't I been doing it?
Yeah.
But that's the way it is.
And the other thing too is get out in different kinds of water. You know, we have also met quite a few people that were lake sailors and then bought a boat and went out into the ocean, and they didn't realize how big the ocean can be.
Yeah.
And it's nice to go out with people too, not bad weather, but rough seas, to see what's normal, you know, because you don't know what's normal. And then if it's just you and your partner out there, it can be scary. You might think, is this normal or not?
Yeah,
I remember we did.
Yeah, because what's normal in the sea is a storm in a lake.
Yeah. The final step with becoming a blue water cruiser is kind of living the lifestyle. It's real important to realize there's a transition from living on land to living on a boat. There are so many things that are different. Some things are amazingly awesome and some things are incredibly difficult. And there are rules, written and unwritten, to being in the cruising community. So it's important to kind of get to know them before you get out, and even make some friends with cruisers that are out there already that you can join up with, or get some buddy boats and share your knowledge.
It's great, get out there.
Yeah, it's well worth it.
The first year is the hardest.
Yeah, and the first year was spectacular, but it was also the best and the worst.
Yeah, it makes or breaks people. Most cruisers stop within the first year.
Well, most cruisers stop within the first long passage, and or when they realize they have the wrong anchor for their boat. And that's a big one. It's amazing because a lot of the schools, you know, out there, they can only teach you so much and they cram in everything. But if I had my own school, I would teach boat maneuvering, anchoring, and mooring balls. Those would be the top thing, and just getting in and out of places. The beginning of the video, we explained that we'd provide you with an opportunity to get 160 steps and tips. We've covered some of those tips and some of those steps in this video, but if you want a full 20-page guide for free, you can now get it, for free. You can get it at the link below. Yeah, if you have any questions, unfortunately YouTube still has not given our comments back, and that's because we have a child that is in some of our videos. So we can't take comments on our channel, but we do have a blog and a website, so please feel free to leave the comments there or email us at Kim or Simon at sailingbritican.com.
Please like our video and subscribe to us. That would be much appreciated. Thank you.
Yeah. And I just have to do a little panorama too, so you can see what's all around us, because it's beautiful. So we're in Calvigny Cut, and let me just bring it around. What?
Oh, I disappeared.
Okay, so right there is a private resort, and how much is it a night?
About 120 or 130,000 a night.
Yeah, 130,000 a night or something. The only people that stay there are oligarchies.
What?
Oligarchies? What are they called?
Oligarchs.
Oligarchs?
I think so. It's not oligarchy.
Well, they have an oligarchy, don't they?
I don't know.
Oh, I don't
think
know.
you're just making it up.
Okay, well, like, okay.
Rich people.
Yeah, rich people.